Today's video is about one of the most important lessons you can ever learn in life: how to turn failure into your greatest teacher. Have you ever looked at your life and wondered, why do I fall again and again? Why do things go wrong even when I try my best? Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe someone rejected you. Maybe you tried something new and it didn't work. And in that moment, you felt broken. You felt weak. You felt like giving up. But let me tell you something powerful today. Failure is not the end of your story. Failure is your teacher. Failure is the thing that shapes you, trains you, and prepares you for the life you want. Most people fear failure, but they do not understand it. When you learn from failure, you grow faster than ever. When you learn from failure, you become unstoppable. So stay with me until the end of this video, because you are about to discover 7 rules that will change the way you see failure forever. These rules are simple. They are clear. They are life-changing. And after today, you will no longer run away from failure. You will use it to rise higher. Rule 1. Accept failure as part of growth. The first and most important rule is simple. Accept that failure is part of growth. But accepting failure is not easy. Most people grow up hearing that failure is something to fear, something to avoid, something to hide. In school, failing means a bad grade. In society, failing means embarrassment. At work, failing means judgment. Because of this, many people grow up thinking failure is a sign of weakness. They believe it means they are not good enough, not talented enough, or not smart enough. But the truth is the opposite. Failure is not a sign that you are weak. Failure is a sign that you are trying to grow. It means you are pushing yourself forward, taking risks, and stepping outside your comfort zone. When you fail, it means you are moving. And movement is growth. Think about how life works. Everything that grows goes through struggle. Trees must push through the soil before they rise into the sunlight. Birds must learn to fly by falling many times from the nest. Muscles grow only after they are stretched and challenged. Even the brightest stars in the sky are born from chaos and pressure. Growth and struggle are connected. You cannot have one without the other. So when you fail, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Because every failure carries a lesson that helps you grow. Imagine a small child learning to walk. The child falls again and again, sometimes hundreds of times. But the child never thinks, "Maybe walking is not for me. Maybe I should stop trying." No. The child simply stands up again, even with shaky legs, and tries one more time. This is why every child on earth eventually walks. Not because they never fall, but because they never let falling stop them. But something strange happens when we grow up. We forget this natural courage. We start to care too much about what people think. We start fearing embarrassment. We start believing that falling means we are failures. But falling is how we learn. Falling is how we improve. Falling is how we grow. When you were a child, your mind was free. You were curious. You were fearless. You believed that trying was more important than avoiding failure. But now, as an adult, you may hesitate. You may avoid new challenges because you fear looking foolish. You may stop yourself from learning something new because you fear not doing it perfectly. You may silence your dreams because you fear failing at them. But let me remind you, The only people who never fail are the ones who never try. And the people who never try also never grow. They stay stuck in the same place, living the same life, repeating the same patterns, holding the same fears. Their life becomes small because their fear becomes big. To accept failure is to choose growth over comfort. It means understanding that every mistake is a message. Every setback is a signal. Every struggle is shaping you. When something goes wrong, it does not mean your journey is over. It simply means the path is teaching you something. If you can accept that, you become stronger than the situation. You become bigger than the problem. You become the kind of person who cannot be defeated easily. Remember this: nothing great has ever been created without failure. Every inventor, every leader, every artist, every athlete, every successful person has failed more times than you can imagine. They became great because they kept trying. They kept learning. They kept growing. They accepted failure as a natural part of the journey. They understood that failure is not a wall, it is a doorway. And only those who are brave enough to walk through it reach the other side. When you accept failure, something powerful happens inside you. You stop being afraid of starting. You stop being afraid of trying. You stop being afraid of dreaming big. You become more confident, more curious, and more courageous. You begin to understand that success is not about avoiding failure. Success is about rising every time you fall. It is about learning faster. It is about becoming better. It is about building strength that lasts. Life becomes easier when you stop expecting perfection and start expecting progress. Failure is simply feedback. It shows you what works and what does not. It shows you what needs improvement. It shows you where to focus your energy. When you accept failure, you stop taking it personally. You understand that it is not a measurement of your worth. It is a tool for your improvement. And when you use failure as a tool, you turn it into power. So accept failure. Expect failure. Use failure. When you fall, do not judge yourself. Do not compare yourself. Do not give up. Instead, ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I grow from this? Because this is how real growth begins. You become unstoppable not when you avoid failure, but when you understand that failure is your partner in growth. It is the shadow that guides you toward your strength. And once you accept it, no challenge can stop you and no setback can break you. Failure becomes not your enemy, but your teacher. Rule 2. Learn the lesson behind every failure. Every failure comes with a message. Every mistake carries a lesson. But most people never receive that message because they are too busy feeling sad, embarrassed, frustrated, or angry. When something goes wrong, the first reaction of the mind is emotional. You feel confused. You feel disappointed. You ask yourself, why did this happen? Why me? But the truth is, failure is not trying to punish you. Failure is trying to teach you. The lesson is always hidden inside the experience, like a seed inside a shell. You have to open it. You have to look for it. You have to ask the right question. What is this trying to teach me? When you start looking for the lesson, failure becomes wisdom. When you ignore the lesson, failure becomes pain. Different failures give different lessons. Sometimes the lesson is patience. Life is telling you to slow down, to trust the process, to give things time. Sometimes the lesson is discipline. Life is reminding you that consistency is more powerful than motivation. Sometimes the lesson is time management. Maybe you rushed, procrastinated, or used your time in the wrong direction. Sometimes the lesson is focus. You were distracted, divided, or trying to do too much at once. Sometimes the lesson is humility. Maybe you thought you knew everything, and failure was there to show you that learning never stops. Sometimes the lesson is to choose people more carefully. Maybe someone you trusted did not support you, and now you understand the importance of good company. Sometimes the lesson is about fear. Fear might be holding you back more than the actual challenge. Sometimes the lesson is strategy. You may need a new plan, a new method, or a new direction. Failure always brings knowledge, but only wise people search for it. Here is something powerful to remember. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you think. We often see their victory, but we do not see the long journey behind it. We see the final achievement, but not the years of mistakes. We see the success, but not the silent nights filled with doubt and struggle. The truth is, the most successful people in the world are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who learn from it faster than others. They became experts at understanding the lessons behind their failures. They did not repeat the same mistakes again and again. They adjusted, they improved, they grew. And because they learned deeply, they succeeded strongly. Failure teaches you who you really are. It shows you your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to help you improve them. It shows you your strengths, not to make you proud, but to help you grow them. It shows you what habits are helping you and what habits are hurting you. It shows you what you need to change and what you need to continue. It shows you what you need to stop doing and what you need to start doing. Failure is like a mirror. It reflects your truth. And truth is the first step toward transformation. Think about this. Every time you fail, you stand at a crossroads. One road leads to discouragement, where you blame yourself and stop trying. The other road leads to wisdom, where you analyze the experience and grow stronger. Most people choose the first road because it is easier. It requires no thinking, no reflection, no effort. But that road leads nowhere. The second road is harder because looking inside yourself takes courage. It takes honesty. It takes maturity. But that road leads to growth, confidence, and long-term success. That road turns failure into progress. When you learn the lesson behind every failure, you turn pain into power. You turn mistakes into wisdom. You turn setbacks into comebacks. You change your relationship with failure. Instead of running away from it, you start learning from it. Instead of fearing it, you start using it. And once you learn how to extract lessons from your mistakes, you become unstoppable because every experience, good or bad, moves you forward. Rule 3. Don't let failure break your confidence. One of the most dangerous things failure can do is break your confidence. Confidence is like a fragile glass. It can be strengthened, but it can also be shattered very easily. And when confidence breaks, everything in your life feels heavier. You stop trying. You stop believing. You begin to doubt your abilities. This is why so many people give up too soon. They fail once or twice, and their mind whispers lies. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe this is not for me. These thoughts feel real in the moment, but they are not the truth. They are traps created by fear and frustration. And if you fall into them, they can destroy your dreams before you even get started. When failure hits, your mind naturally becomes emotional. You feel hurt. You feel frustrated. You feel discouraged. You may even feel angry at yourself or at the world. This is normal. Emotions are not wrong. They are human. But what matters is how you respond. Do you allow failure to define who you are? Or do you choose to protect your confidence and rise again? Confidence is not about always winning. Confidence is about trusting yourself even when things go wrong. It is about believing in your ability to learn, adapt, and improve. Confidence is about knowing that failure is temporary and that mistakes do not define your worth. Think about the most confident people in the world. They are not the ones who never fail. They are not the ones who always get everything right the first time. They are the ones who fail, sometimes many times, but rise every single time. Their confidence does not come from their achievements. It comes from their effort, their courage to continue, and their ability to learn and adapt. When you protect your confidence, even when life knocks you down, you create a foundation that failure cannot shake. This foundation becomes your strength, your power, and your source of resilience. So how do you keep your confidence strong after failure? First, remind yourself of your progress. Every step forward counts, no matter how small. Even if the outcome was not what you wanted, you moved, you tried, and you learned. That effort is proof that you are capable. Second, remind yourself of your dreams. Your goals are bigger than one failure. One mistake does not erase your vision or your purpose. When you keep your dreams in mind, your mind focuses on the bigger picture instead of a single setback. Third, remind yourself that success takes time. No one achieves greatness overnight. Every failure is part of the journey. Every challenge is a step forward, even if it feels like a step back in the moment. Fourth, remind yourself that everyone fails. Every successful person has faced disappointment, rejection, and setbacks. The difference between them and everyone else is that they refuse to let failure define them. They rose, they learned, and they continued. You can do the same. You have the ability to rise too. Fifth, choose to be the person who rises. Confidence is a decision. It is a mindset. It is a daily practice of believing in yourself, even when the world seems to be against you. Each time you choose to protect your confidence, you become stronger and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Failure will always test your confidence. Life will always throw obstacles in your path. But when you keep your confidence intact, failure loses its power over you. Instead of breaking you, failure becomes a teacher. Instead of discouraging you, failure becomes fuel. Instead of stopping you, failure becomes a stepping stone. The more you protect your confidence, the more fearless you become. The more fearless you are, the more you try. And the more you try, the more you grow, the more you learn, and the closer you get to success. Remember this truth. Your confidence should not depend on success. Success comes and goes, but your confidence is yours to build and protect. Let failure teach you, let mistakes guide you, but never let them take away your self-belief. The most powerful people in life are not those who avoid failure. They are those who rise after every fall. And when you rise again and again, no failure can ever stop you. Rule 4. Try again, but with a better plan. Trying again is important. Everyone knows that success often requires multiple attempts. But there is a difference between trying again blindly and trying again with a better plan. Many people fail and think that just repeating the same effort will eventually bring success. They do the same work, follow the same habits, and expect a different result. This is a mistake. Failure is not punishment, it is information. It is feedback. Every failure shows you what does not work. If you ignore that feedback and repeat the same strategy, you will only repeat the same failure. Success requires adjustment. Success requires creativity. Success requires smarter planning. When you fail, the first thing you need to do is pause. Stop rushing forward. Stop repeating the same mistakes. Take a moment to reflect. Reflection is powerful. Ask yourself, what went wrong? Look closely at the situation. What caused the failure? Was it a lack of preparation? Was it a poor decision? Was it a problem with timing? Was it the wrong approach? Understanding exactly why you failed is the first step toward building a better plan. Without this step, you are simply guessing, and guessing rarely leads to success. Next, ask yourself, what can I change? This is where creativity comes in. Failure gives you clues about what is not working. Use these clues to make adjustments. Maybe you need to change your method. Maybe you need to change your routine. Maybe you need to improve your skills. Maybe you need to study, practice, or plan differently. Small changes can have a big impact. Success does not always require a complete restart. It often requires smart adjustments. Look at your plan carefully and make it stronger, smarter, and more focused than before. Another important question is, what can I do better next time? Improvement is key. Failure shows where you are weak, but it also shows where you can improve. Maybe your time management was poor. Maybe your focus was divided. Maybe you underestimated the difficulty. Whatever the reason, see it as an opportunity to sharpen your skills. Every failure is a lesson in strategy. And the person who improves after every failure is the one who eventually succeeds. You should also ask, what did I ignore? What did I underestimate? What did I overestimate? These questions force you to analyze every detail. Maybe you ignored small signals. Maybe you underestimated challenges. Maybe you overestimated your current abilities. Reflection allows you to uncover hidden mistakes that you would otherwise repeat. When you answer these questions honestly, you begin to see patterns. You begin to see what works and what does not. And patterns are the foundation for building a better plan. Finally, ask yourself, what did I learn? This is the most important question. Every failure carries wisdom. The lessons you extract from failure are more valuable than any immediate success. When you learn from your mistakes, you gain insight that cannot be taught in books or classrooms. This knowledge allows you to create a plan that is stronger and more effective than before. Remember this: success is not about trying the most times. It is about trying the smartest way. Effort alone is not enough. Repetition without reflection is wasted energy. But when you combine effort with reflection, adjustment, and learning, every attempt becomes more powerful. Your second attempt, built on the lessons of the first, becomes 10 times stronger. Your third attempt, built on the lessons of the second, becomes even stronger. This is how growth happens. This is how ordinary people turn failure into extraordinary success. Trying again is not failure, it is courage. Trying again with a better plan is not just courage, it is intelligence. It is wisdom. It is the secret that separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up too soon. If you want to rise above failure, do not just repeat the same actions. Build a smarter strategy. Learn. Adjust. Improve. Plan. And then try again. Each attempt moves you closer to your goal, and each attempt makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the life you want. Rule 5. Use failure to strengthen your discipline. Failure hurts. There is no way around it. It feels heavy, uncomfortable, and often unfair. When something you tried does not work, your first reaction may be sadness, frustration, or even anger. You may feel like giving up. You may feel like stopping entirely. But this pain, as difficult as it feels, can also be a teacher. It can be a trainer. It can be a force that pushes you to develop one of the most important qualities for success: discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when it is hard, even when it is boring, even when it hurts. Discipline is the bridge between failure and success. Without discipline, failure can stop you. With discipline, failure can make you stronger. Discipline is not something we are born with. It is something we build. And failure is one of the best tools to build it. When something goes wrong, you face a choice. You can give up, or you can continue. You can stay weak, or you can grow stronger. You can complain, or you can act. Each time you choose to continue, each time you choose to show up despite disappointment, your discipline becomes stronger. Each time you take responsibility for your effort, even when results are not immediate, your mental strength grows. This is why discipline is often more important than talent. Talent can help you start a journey, but discipline ensures that you finish it. Think of discipline like a muscle. Muscles grow when they are challenged. They grow when they are pushed beyond comfort. Similarly, discipline grows when you are challenged by obstacles, setbacks, or failures. Every time you fail and choose to continue, you exercise your discipline muscle. Every time you fall and stand up again, you increase your inner strength. Every time you make mistakes and still continue, you become more powerful than before. Life rewards those who do not quit. Talent may open doors, but discipline keeps them open. Discipline carries you forward when motivation disappears. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is lasting. And the most disciplined people in the world are not those who never fail. They are the ones who rise every time they fall. When failure enters your life, you have an opportunity. You can either allow it to stop you, or you can use it as fuel. You can allow it to discourage you, or you can allow it to train you. You can allow it to weaken you, or you can allow it to make you stronger. Every challenge, every disappointment, every moment of frustration can be transformed into a chance to practice discipline. Tell yourself, this failure is not here to stop me. It is here to build me. This mindset changes everything. It turns pain into progress. It turns weakness into strength. It turns setbacks into training sessions for success. Many people rely only on motivation. They wait to feel inspired before they act. But motivation comes and goes. Motivation disappears when life gets hard. Motivation fades when results are slow. Discipline, however, does not depend on feelings. Discipline keeps going when motivation is gone. Discipline shows up when emotions are difficult. Discipline is steady, consistent, and reliable. and failure gives you the perfect opportunity to practice this kind of discipline. Each time life challenges you, each time failure knocks on your door, you have a choice. You can quit, or you can train yourself. You can allow pain to weaken you, or you can allow it to strengthen you. Discipline is also about focus. Failure often makes you emotional. It can distract you. It can make your mind noisy. But discipline trains you to stay focused, to continue working toward your goal, even when the mind wants to wander. It teaches you patience, persistence, and consistency. Every great achievement in life is the result of consistent action. People who succeed are not always the most talented. They are the most disciplined. They continue even when life is hard. They continue even when failure feels heavy. They continue because they understand that growth comes through persistence, not through luck. Failure gives you a choice every day: weakness or strength, quitting or discipline. Every time you practice discipline, every time you choose to continue despite challenges, you become stronger, smarter, and more capable. And as you build discipline through failure, you also build confidence. You learn that you can handle discomfort. You learn that you can continue even when results are slow. You learn that your effort matters more than immediate success. Discipline turns failure from an enemy into a teacher. It transforms struggle into preparation. It makes success inevitable for those who persist. So when failure comes, do not fear it. Do not resist it. Do not allow it to stop you. Use it as motivation. Use it as fuel. Use it as a training ground for your mind, your body, and your spirit. Tell yourself, failure is not my enemy. Failure is my coach. Failure is my opportunity to become stronger, more disciplined, and more unstoppable. People who build discipline through failure are unstoppable because they do not wait for perfect conditions, perfect emotions, or perfect motivation. They act, they persist, they rise. And that is how extraordinary success is achieved. Rule 6. Stop comparing your failures to others' success. One of the biggest reasons people feel discouraged after failure is comparison. It happens naturally. When you look at other people, it is easy to focus only on what they have achieved and not on the struggles they faced to get there. You may see someone living a life you desire, achieving goals you dream of, or moving faster in their career or personal growth. And then your mind starts to whisper, "They are doing better than me. They are achieving more. They are moving faster." These thoughts make you feel small, frustrated, or even hopeless. But here is the truth. You do not see their full story. You do not see the struggles, the setbacks, the failures, the fears, or the sleepless nights they faced in private. You only see the result, the polished public version of their life. And judging yourself based on what you see without knowing the journey is unfair and destructive. Every successful person has failed in private long before they succeeded in public. Every inventor, entrepreneur, athlete, or leader has faced moments of doubt, disappointment, and struggle. Many of them failed multiple times, sometimes for years, before they reached success. You may see their victory today, but you do not see the long nights, the mistakes, the lessons learned, or the resilience it took to arrive there. When you compare your failures to someone else's successes, you forget this crucial truth. Their success is a result of their unique journey, their persistence, and their ability to keep going despite failure. Comparing yourself to them does not help you. It only steals your focus. Comparison steals your peace. It steals your motivation. It steals your confidence. When you focus on what others have, you forget to appreciate what you are doing. You forget to celebrate your own small improvements, your own efforts, and your own progress. It is like comparing the first chapter of your book to the final chapter of another book. It makes no sense. You would not judge a book by looking at one random page. Why would you judge your life that way? Every journey is different. Every timing is unique. Every set of lessons is individual. Your challenges, your pace, and your growth cannot and should not be measured against anyone else's. The habit of comparison is a silent enemy. It makes you doubt yourself unnecessarily. It makes you question your worth. It clouds your judgment. And it prevents you from seeing how far you have actually come. Instead of comparing, turn your attention inward. Focus on your own progress. Look at where you were yesterday, last month, or last year. Look at how much you have learned. Look at how much courage you have shown. Look at the small steps you are taking toward your goals. Every attempt, every lesson, and every failure is part of your journey. They are the building blocks of your success. Celebrate the small improvements. Celebrate the effort you put in. Celebrate the fact that you are trying even when things are hard. Success is not a race against others. It is a personal journey. It is not about being better than anyone else. It is about being better than you were yesterday. When you stop comparing your failures with someone else's success, you gain clarity. You see your life with honesty. You see your progress with fairness. And you begin to grow without distraction. Focusing on your own path also gives you strength. It helps you use failure as a teacher rather than as a weapon against yourself. When you stop comparing, failure loses its power to discourage you. It becomes a signal to improve, adjust, and keep moving forward. It becomes a step in your journey, not a mark of shame. You begin to understand that everyone's journey has timing. Some people bloom earlier, some bloom later. Some face bigger challenges, some face smaller ones. But timing, effort, and persistence determine outcomes, not comparison. Peace is another gift that comes from stopping comparison. When you stop measuring yourself against others, your mind quiets. You stop feeling envy, frustration, or impatience. You accept your own journey. You trust your process. And when your mind is clear, you are free to focus entirely on growth. Growth comes from attention, effort, and reflection, not from jealousy or comparison. Your energy goes into learning, improving, and becoming better instead of worrying about someone else's path. Finally, when you stop comparing, you also gain confidence. You see that your efforts matter. You see that your small steps accumulate into progress. You see that failure is not an end, but a teacher. You see that your journey is unique, and your growth is your own. Comparison may seem natural, but it is a thief. It steals clarity, peace, and power. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin to rise. You begin to grow in your own way, at your own pace, and on your own terms. And that is when failure stops feeling like a curse and starts feeling like a stepping stone to your true potential. Rule 7. Turn failure into your future power. The final rule is the most powerful. Turn failure into your future power. All the rules before this prepare you for this ultimate truth. Failure is not the enemy of your dreams. It is their teacher, guide, and builder. Failure gives you experience that cannot be learned from anyone else. It gives you wisdom that books and lectures cannot provide. It gives you resilience, emotional strength, and knowledge that you carry for life. When you fail, you are not losing. You are preparing. Every setback, every mistake, every disappointment is an opportunity to shape yourself into the kind of person who can handle not just failure, but also the immense responsibility and pressure of success when it finally comes. Remember this truth. Success is not built on perfection. Success is built on recovery. No one achieves greatness without breaking at some point. Every person who has reached extraordinary heights has experienced moments of doubt, struggle, and failure. But what separates the successful from the unsuccessful is the ability to rise after falling. Every time you fail and choose to get back up, you strengthen your mental and emotional muscles. Every time you break and rebuild, you gain confidence in yourself that cannot be taken away. Every time you make mistakes and continue forward, you become more resilient, more resourceful, and more capable of handling future challenges. Failure is not just a temporary obstacle. It is training for the life ahead. Think about it this way. Failure prepares you for the challenges you cannot yet see. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much you plan, you will face unexpected difficulties. Failure today teaches you lessons that make tomorrow's obstacles manageable. It teaches you patience when things are slow. It teaches you persistence when results do not come immediately. It teaches you humility when you are tempted to feel overconfident. It teaches you courage when fear tries to hold you back. Every lesson from failure is a tool for your future. Each experience, no matter how painful, equips you with knowledge, skills, and resilience that you will use later in life, often in ways you cannot yet imagine. Many people want instant success. They want their efforts to pay off immediately. They desire recognition, money, or status without delay, but instant success is fragile. It often disappears when challenges arise because it was never built on a foundation strong enough to withstand failure. Real, lasting success grows slowly. It grows through repeated attempts, through mistakes, and through the wisdom gained from learning. Success built on failure becomes unshakable. It becomes strong. It becomes permanent. It is not dependent on luck or circumstances. It is dependent on the inner strength you develop by facing difficulties and rising every time you fall. Turning failure into power also changes how you see life itself. You stop fearing mistakes. You stop avoiding challenges. You stop holding yourself back because you are afraid of what could go wrong. Instead, you welcome opportunities to learn, to test your limits, and to grow. You begin to see failure not as a punishment, but as a guide. You begin to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as steps in your journey. You begin to understand that every difficulty is shaping you into someone capable of handling more, achieving more, and becoming more. Failure is not something to regret. It is something to use. Every failure you experience is like a seed planted for your future success. The lessons you learn, the discipline you build, the resilience you develop, they all grow quietly inside you. And when the right opportunity comes, all of that preparation shows up as power. It shows up as confidence. It shows up as clarity, courage, and the ability to handle whatever life throws at you. People who succeed consistently are not lucky. They are prepared. They have faced failure, learned from it, and transformed it into strength. You can do the same. Every failure you face today is giving you power for tomorrow. So turn your failures into your future power. Use them to grow. Use them to rise. Use them to become stronger, smarter, and more capable. Each time life knocks you down, rise with a purpose. Each time you make a mistake, learn the lesson and adjust. Each time you feel discouraged, remind yourself that this is temporary and that your growth is permanent. Build a life that is stronger than anything that tries to stop you. Build a future that no setback can destroy. Build a version of yourself that failure cannot defeat. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the foundation of it. It is the teacher that trains you, the challenge that shapes you, and the fuel that powers your growth. When you learn to turn failure into your future power, you transform your life. You become unstoppable. You become unstoppable because you know that every setback is temporary, every mistake is a lesson, and every failure is a step toward an unshakable, extraordinary future. Final message: embrace failure as your teacher. Failure is not the ending of your story. Many people see it as a full stop, a signal that they are not good enough, or that their dreams are impossible. But the truth is very different. Failure is not a punishment, it is the beginning. It is the first chapter of success. It is the classroom where life teaches you the most valuable lessons. Every setback, every mistake, every moment of disappointment is shaping you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Do not fear failure. Do not run from it. Do not hide from it. On English Achieve, we believe that every failure is an opportunity. Accept it. Learn from it. Grow with it. Rise above it. Understand that the struggles you face today are not signs of weakness. They are the building blocks of your future strength. Each failure is preparing you for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Your future is waiting, and it is brighter than you imagine. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are learning. You are a student. And failure, my friend, is your greatest teacher. Embrace it and let it guide you to the success you deserve.